In this video, we're going to talk to you about how to prompt and how to tell the AI exactly what you'd like it to do and how to do so effectively. The first thing to remember is that you want to tell the AI who it is. The reason you want to do that is because the AI has been trained on billions of documents. Telling it who it is gives it the right context from which to start. Once you tell the AI who it is, the second thing to do is to give the AI very clear instructions about what you want it to do. You have to remember that the AI doesn't know you and doesn't know any of your context. So the more context you give it, the more effective it can be. The third thing to remember is to always give AI examples and steps. If you have a specific project you'd like it to take on, if you have specific directions that you'd like to give it, giving it examples helps it learn what you want, and giving it steps helps it think step by step and will do a more effective job for you. So let's see how this works in practice.
So I'm going to show you how to construct a prompt, sort of step by step. There are two important caveats that you have to know before we do this. First off, don't follow this exactly. Prompting isn't magic. 80% of prompting is about experience, and prompting is just getting easier with each generation of these models. So this is not a magical formula. You can actually experiment, and the more you use AI, the more you'll find out what's good or bad at it and how to make it do what you'd like. And even just ask the AI to help you. Say, I want to accomplish this task. What should I ask you? It will help you with that. So that's the first thing, is this isn't magical. There is not a technical programming language here. This is a conversation with the AI. And the second is, as we'll talk about it in a little bit, prompting is just a piece of this. So getting the right perfect prompt is less important than interacting with the AI, which we'll talk to you after we show you how to create a prompt. So with that said, let's talk about how to create a good first prompt. So let's work on a prompt together and see how we can make it better. We're going to start with something basic and build it out. For this particular use case, we're going to use GPT-4 and ChatGPT, which, as we discussed last time, is one of a series of foundational models you can use. So you can also do this in Microsoft Bing, which in its creative mode uses ChatGPT-4, the same model, or you can use Google's Bard, which works a little bit differently. But we're going to just use GPT-4 for this. Again, prompting works fairly similarly across different AI models. So let's start with an example. Let's say we wanted to write me a paragraph about why group work is important. And so GPT-4 is a very powerful model. It's a little bit slow. It will produce the results here that we need here about this. So that is a good prompt, and it's coming up with a perfectly fine essay, but you'll notice it doesn't know what context to use, what perspective to write this from. So the first thing that we can start to do is we can add context and perspective. So we can say, act like an experienced teacher. Write a paragraph about why group work is important. And you'll notice that the entire context of the conversation changes, because now it's talking about pedagogy and it's talking about it from a teacher's perspective. We haven't made it into a teacher. This is not magic, but we've given it context to work in and a perspective to take. And you'll see it uses that perspective throughout. Now, we can make this even more advanced by adding in constraints, by telling it exactly what we want to see. So we could say that act like an experienced teacher, write a paragraph about why group work is important, make the writing engaging but smart, to pick a style. And by the way, if you don't know what style to use, you can paste in your favorite text into any of these AIs and ask it to describe that text to you, and then use that description when you're giving it constraints. We might also want to say, make sure there is an example. And again, you can see I'm just using normal human text to do this. There's nothing magical here. And say, now it's being a little bit too engaging and fun. It's saying group work, my dear scholars, is a vital cornerstone of education. So maybe we think that's too flowery. We're learning as we go with this prompt. We'll talk more about how you revise it as you go along, but you can see we get a better, more constrained, more interesting piece of writing as a result of this.